Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, Bernard? How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Um, Let me
Mhm.
see. Yeah, I just want to talk just about some things that people, I don't know, people don't know today that I'm looking at people. They don't understand these people are trying to perpetrate a civil war. I just wanted to tell you about this because a lot of people do not understand what's really going on.
Right.
Now, I see people talking about Biden won, but you notice that CNN keeps saying projected winner.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier. They had projected winners there. It was even on, I think, MSNBC. They did the same thing. The Associated Press, though, they call him the winner, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So,
well, the
right,
Associated Press is controlled by uh,
Rothschild.
yeah, the Rothschilds. That's right. That's right. That's right.
I heard T West say something like that
Yeah, but yeah,
earlier.
that's right. But that's right. But I've been through that. That's why I said like the news media that you hear is very, very
One
it's,
side.
it's biased. I mean that's why I said I don't really, you know, I don't know if you've ever you talk to me all the time now, but do you ever hear me say I watch the news? Not really because I know. I might watch C-SPAN, but like I said, if you are a news program with commercials and stuff, I ain't gonna listen to you that much because I know if you're getting commercial dollars, I already know that you push to direct a certain narrative.
Right.
That's
Right.
why
Well,
that's why they
right.
call it.
Well, media. Right. Well, media. In general right now, most media outlets, news outlets like NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox News, they're all controlled by corporate interests. They're owned by different corporations. If you look at NBC, they're owned by Comcast. If you look at Comcast Universal, if you look at even the A&E network, for instance, that's controlled by the Hearst company. Hearst was William Randolph Hearst from the 1920s. They own a part of that. CBS, of course, is a Viacom company. The guy who created the Viacom company just died not too long.
Redstone.
Redstone, yes. He also created the modern movie theater complex that you have the indoor facility seating. He's credited with that as well. He's a multi-billionaire. So those are the ones that got rid of that forced Nick Cannon to apologize. I don't even know if Nick Cannon got his show back. Did he? Is Wild 'N Out coming back on after he did that? I'm not sure.
I don't know. Me personally, I hope it doesn't after he bitched up like that. But yeah. So I wanted to say something because a lot of people have. Well, the people that really know what's going on, they know that this isn't over because I'm letting people know why would they project that, but they know on Monday the Supreme Court is gonna meet about these folks ballots or fake ballots, and I want to just let the audience know that you got an operation called Operation Scorecard and Operation Hammer. Now, I will say Fox News yesterday did bring up Sidney Powell and talked about Operation Hammer and Scorecard, and they used the voting machines in Michigan under, I think, what is it? A matter of fact, since I'm reading it right now, Michigan legislature convened joint oversight hearing Saturday after glitches give 6,000 Trump votes to Biden. Earlier Friday, news broke that software glitch in the counting software used by 48 Michigan counties allegedly produced a very significant glitch at least one of them. In Atrium County, the software glitch switched 6,000 votes from Republicans, including Trump, to Democrats. The county clerk, a Democrat, caught the issue and it has been corrected in that county. Antrim County used Dominion voting system. Dominion voting systems, I don't know if a lot of the audience knows, is controlled by the Clinton group. And you got Soros and other entities in these voting machines. Um, in Oakland County, another glitch temporary top incumbent Republican. Um, it's troubling that both glitches switch Republican votes to Democrat despite apparently occurring in different underlying systems. All told, 59 of Michigan's 83 counties may be affected by these liquids. So, um, what I'm saying is the media is reporting that. But I mean, like I always say, if people are gonna be silly, they're gonna be silly. People do not know, they don't study history. What's the year? 2020?
This is 2020. We're in the year 2020.
What happened 20 years ago?
Al Gore ran for president against George W. Bush. Al Gore was the vice president, and Florida was in contention. And they called it for Al Gore. Then they said no because there's this issue with Hain Chad ballots, and then eventually the Supreme Court ruled in favor of George Bush.
Well, yeah. And
That's the general gist of what I remember.
yeah, well, what did the Supreme Court have? A 4-4 majority?
It was a 5-4, yeah.
Well, no, I'm talking about they had 4-4 until Comey Barrett came along, right?
Oh, the Supreme Court, yeah,
Yeah.
because she replaced Ginsburg. It was 4-4 even. So you had a conservative majority right now.
Okay. Well, a lot of people don't know that if you look at it, hey, look, history in hindsight, history is best qualified to reward all research, and history, I mean, not history. History is best qualified to provide all research, and hindsight is 2020. So if you look at it, here we go again. And that's why I said that's why I said they couldn't really say he's the winner. That's why they said projected, because they would have said he's the actual winner, then you would be in for some lawsuits or some type of legal action, especially when you got legal action. See, a lot of people would use the word project, but they don't know that project do not mean you the winner. That's what they projecting. See,
Right.
but I think that because I don't know, I know last week in the program we had the young lady on, right? I'm not gonna say her. Well, I could say her name,
Yeah.
but she said black folks don't know much of anything. They're just slaves and bed wenches. I was like, God damn. But you know, but I will say that unfortunately, people did not read this information. If you Google Act 77 in Pennsylvania, their law even says you can't count votes past election day at 8 o'clock. Um, actually, they're gonna use that with all the states. Is count all the legal votes. That's why I always tell people. I do believe Donald Trump got over 70 million votes. I do not believe Joe Biden got 70 million votes.
Well, let's look at this too, because I didn't really want to go back and forth. I had a friend who it's clear he's a supporter of Biden. He's a Democratic supporter, and I had put out mention that I didn't believe Biden got or broke the record for Barack Obama. I didn't believe that because Obama, I remembered when he got reelected, when he got elected, I remember how long the lines were. Now, yeah, we're in the middle of COVID. Uh, you have mail-in ballots now that came in, but I was surprised that he broke that record. And I said I couldn't believe that. He's like, well, you do know every year the the uh, voter roll grows more and more because you have more 18-year-olds. I said, and I didn't respond back because sometimes it's not even worth responding back to. Somebody's gonna have their opinion on something, and they're gonna stick with it. But the point is, though, I said to him, "Well, have you ever been to a Joe Biden rally?" And he said, "No." What's the point? I said, "Me neither," and neither did 70 million people vote for him. Because for me, it just seemed odd that somebody who couldn't get anybody to come to his rallies, that it was, he was not exciting, that he surpassed Barack Obama in terms of voting record. Yes, voting records do grow every year. Voter eligibility grows, but it depends on the turnout. It depends all on the turnout, who votes for who. So it's hard to believe for me that from my conversations with people like Judge Joe Brown, he told me that like one precinct in Philadelphia, a whole packet was Joe Biden, and it was like 158,000 votes. It was no third party. There was no Donald Trump in it. It wasn't mixed. So,
Well, It happened in Michigan too. But here's the thing.
Happened in Wisconsin. I saw Wisconsin, and I mean they're required to do a mandatory recount because in Georgia and in Wisconsin because it was less than 1%. Uh, that was the difference between that. So they got to recount it, and if anything is weird with it, if it's different, then it really changes the what we have is the 46th president elect right now.
Well, here's the thing that a lot of people don't know that because some fact of they have to recount the votes. And actually, to be honest with you, I mean, I don't know if I sent you an article this morning. You had the postal worker that tried to come across the Canadian border with ballots. He got arrested.
I
You had,
saw it.
yeah, you had people coming in dropping ballot dumps in the morning. I mean, you had the water main breaking full.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the chances that happening, man? What I'm saying is, engage in massive voter fraud, and they keep telling you that black people saved Joe Biden. First of all, black people did not even vote for Joe Biden. They used Joe Biden. Look, out of 100%, Joe Biden got 71% of the black vote. Um, Black men, especially in Detroit, every 1 in 3 voted for Donald Trump or a third party candidate. You yourself voted for a third party candidate, right? You also had black men that didn't vote, black women who didn't vote. Actually, to tell you the truth, now we're going to do a numbers game here. There's no way that you lost 29% of the black vote, 35% of the Latino voted for Trump, Asian Americans, even gays got voted for Trump. So that's how you know that the numbers are off. All you got to do is do the math. But for the people that don't know, if they go back and Google and just check it out, in 1960, 60 years ago, I mean, JFK won a stolen election with Nixon, right? I
Well, he
mean,
won by what? By less than 100,000 votes,
what
and
did people vote in Chicago?
yeah, and if you look at the movie The Irishman with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci that came out last year on Netflix, they even detailed how the mafia helped Kennedy steal the election because old man Kennedy was tied with many of the mobsters from the bootlegging days.
Right.
And they stole that election and then they felt betrayed because why? Bobby Kennedy became attorney general and started going after the mafia. So now they put a hit out on JFK, although the mafia wasn't the ones really behind it. They were just may have been the shooters, but the real people behind it was the Central Intelligence Agency and the military industrial complex.
Yeah, and guess what?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that you had 2 co-conspirators in there. George Bush Sr. was the head of the CIA at the time, and Ted Cruz's father was in there too. So you had 2 co-conspirators that helped take down Kennedy right there.
Well, if you go and look up a woman, Madeline Brown, Judge Joe Brown talks about her. She mentions, and this was documented, that there was a meeting, and this has been confirmed that Thursday, because this assassination was on a Friday, but that night before the assassination, Richard Nixon was in town in Dallas, uh, J. Edgar Hoover, Lyndon Baines Johnson, Clint Murchison. He was the owner and founder of the Dallas Cowboys. Lamar Hunt, I believe, was the founder of the Dallas Texans, which became now known as the Kansas City Chiefs. If I'm not mistaken, all of these men and others were there. These oil men were there. And uh, supposedly, she said Lyndon Johnson told her, those blankety blank Kennedys won't bother me after tomorrow. So remember, so yeah, I have heard about George Bush being there. Bush was actually said that he didn't even know, he couldn't even remember what he was doing on the day of the assassination, which was odd because uh, everybody knows essentially that's what psychologists call flashbulb memory, where you remember where you were. For instance, when I remember when Hurricane Katrina struck, that's a memory I won't forget. I'm tied to New Orleans. I remember where I was when Obama won the presidency. I was there. I remember things like that. You remember certain things. I don't know. Bernard, you probably remember there's some historic moments in your life, like the Bronco chase with OJ. Even though that was big, I remember what I was doing. I was 8 years old, and that was I remember my aunt came in town, and we all went out to eat with my uncles and aunts and my parents and my brother, and
Mhm.
I remember stuff like that. So stuff like that. And the point is, you don't forget things of that nature. So it was very odd that he said that. But I mean, there are declassified documents about him meeting with J. Edgar Hoover after the assassination. It names of George Bush of the CIA. And when that was presented to him when he ran for president in '88, he said it couldn't have been him because he was the head of CIA in 1976. So how do you just become the head of the CIA in 1976 if you never with no experience at all in
Ah,
the that makes no sense.
well, let me say something.
Uh-huh.
Like brother Tim McClure is in the chat. Matter of fact, I gotta give him some big ups to that brother because he wants to come to New Orleans to meet you actually. So we gotta give some big ups to that brother. But so Tim, I'm glad you're in the chat. But he's right. Presidents elected, not elected. He's right about that. So you know, that's why I said that the electoral college meets December 14th. And they got an injunction by Marco Rubio to move the date back to January 2nd. So this party is just getting started. But what I wanted to say is we got too many people that are what you call sheeple that go along with the game and they don't understand that what just happened is a part of a live movie, to be honest with you. I'm sure if we had the great brother Ron,
Bernard,
we could talk about this because this would be a funny conversation. That's why last week I was more mad. I was mad. I said, dang, Gavin.
Bernard, can you hear me? I think you're lagging a little bit. I don't know if there's any issue with your internet.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. But
It's like a
like,
delay though.
yeah, I'm just saying a lot of people don't understand really what happened, and they go they're I hate in the street, but then the Supreme Court does what I think they're gonna do. What do you say then? Do you get mad because when I look at them putting up a fence around the White House, they ain't putting up a fence for Donald Trump to lose. They putting up a fence for them to win.
Right.
I mean, it's just predictive program, man.
I
Me
just have it is predictable programming, and I just have a feeling that something bad is going to happen. That not something necessarily bad, but I have a feeling that he has base and pun intended a trump card uh, up his sleeve. And I look at because I'm looking at the Supreme. There's a reason why he got Amy Coney Barrett appointed so quickly to the Supreme Court. There's a reason why um, right now you're seeing, like you said, things boarded up because they knew uh, some stuff was going to happen. And
oh yeah,
right now, right. And right now, when I look at it, like people are celebrating, and I see black people celebrating for Kamala Harris. When I saw parts of her acceptance speech, but honestly, I was walking in and out of the room because my people were looking at it, and I really couldn't stand watching it because I see people that got the nerve to compare her uh, with Rosa Parks and Ruby Bridges. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
well,
Get the hell out of here, man.
I
This
mean,
woman couldn't hold Rose. This woman couldn't hold Rosa's purse.
I mean, it just goes to show you, man. People don't know what's really up. I mean, people. That's why I said people got it was scripted reality, but it's also they don't really know. Like they don't study history. Even in 1864, they tried to steal the election from Abraham Lincoln. They couldn't steal
Right.
it, so they assassinated him.
Mail-in ballots. And they use mail-in ballots to do it.
Yeah. So I mean, history is out there. Even you can Google this video by Dick Gregory, which Dick Gregory even tell you that he won the election in 1968. They threw 9 million votes out in Pennsylvania because,
Right.
like I just told you, no president except JFK has lost an election that won Florida and Ohio, except JFK. And we already discussed what happened with that.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, although Kennedy, I think would have did a better job than Richard Nixon, obviously, but yeah, what they did, yeah, that was interesting. And another thing too, with regards to the popular vote in the electoral college, people need to remember when they want to and understand something. Be careful what you wish for because you might just get it. If you abolish the electoral college, if you have the popular vote, then you will have no voter turnout because California, uh, uh, New York, and Texas and Miami, all of these large cities and states, they would be the ones like Los Angeles and so forth. They would be the ones determining every presidential election. Essentially, there are more people that live in New York than there are in New Orleans. There are more people that live in Los Angeles than there are in New Orleans or in Virginia, where you are, Bernard. I don't know what city you're in Virginia, but in Richmond, Virginia. So you know, so Miami outnumbers New Orleans and Richmond combined probably. So you would not be able to even go outside and think about voting in a presidential election because number one, New York and LA are both uh, are both liberal. They're far left leaning, so they would decide anything. The only thing that may dictate that would be Texas because Texas is a much larger state. But well, outside of California, really. But you have Houston, you have Dallas, and so forth. Everybody would be those would be the cities determining everything. So it wouldn't be any purpose of going vote. And the other thing too is that um, I've already looked at what the plan is for Biden and Harris. Everything is for illegal immigrants and LGBTQ.
That's right.
There's no black agenda.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, illegal immigrants are anti-black and the LGBT is anti-black.
Well,
And
yeah.
as a matter of fact, come to think of it, I'm glad you mentioned it because the other day you had a woman win in Missouri. Matter of fact, she was marching for Black Lives Matter. Her name was Cori Bush, and they were saying that we got some black um, people elected to Congress, right?
Mhm.
But when you go Google them up, they were all LGBT.
Right. Well, even of our black people who are black and are LGBT, they put their sexuality before their race.
That's right.
Uh, Obama had some black federal judges he had appointed, and I believe a couple of them were LGBTQ. Most of the people that he put in office were leaning towards that way anyway. So I see no change with that with this administration that's coming in. Supposedly will come in. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are going to push that for the next 4 years. Although we have a Republican Senate, which will probably fight an Equality Act, stop that from being passed. Um, I think the other thing too is you also got a conservative Supreme Court that can mitigate some of that. And even the gun control laws that they want to implement because that really is what concerns me. And I know most people, and I talk with people who don't understand that, and that's because they don't go to a gun range like you and me.
That's right.
They don't understand AR-15. Some of them think, oh, why would you need an AR-15? Why would you need something with 30 rounds? Well, if you look at history and you look at what happened in Los Angeles, for instance, Korean with the Korean store owners, they stood their ground because they were armed with AK-47s and AR-15s and Ruger 30s to prevent people from burning down their uh, stores and their shops. Even when you look at the situation with the Deacons for Defense, they were armed with these were former military men. They had M1 carbines and AR-15s, and even machine guns from World War II, handguns, ready to do battle when the Klan came in their neighborhood. They had sniper rifles, scoped out, told them to turn their ass back around. That was right outside Bogalusa, Louisiana. So there's always been a need for weapons, for guns. We wouldn't have a country like this if we didn't have a revolution, if it wasn't for violence. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, uh, this country is built on guns. It was built on blood. That's just the reality. So I don't see why anybody would want to disarm themselves, especially black folks screaming about inciting with their allies about the Second Amendment when these people are armed with even far worse weaponry. I mean, Obama approved, like Ron talked about this. Obama had approved weapons that gas many of those protesters out in Ferguson. They were using all of those military style weapons and canisters. They got weapons that you've seen in the Avengers, like the when the Incredible Hulk would be fighting. They have those supersonic waves that would emit a powerful sound. They got stuff like that.
Well, um, with Tim McClure, he says Biden and Harris equals Babylon. I'm like, well, yeah, what is going on is biblical, but unfortunately, I guess a lot of people that don't read the Bible or they don't understand what's going on, so I guess they just lost. But like I said, that's why I said I'm glad that I had some people that gave me the magic glasses, let me run with it, like Dick Gregory would say. Put the magic glasses on, you can't take them off because people today are really lost, like they don't know what's going on. Especially when you talk to black folks, they don't, they listen to the news, but they don't really listen. Like I just told you, the news is controlled by basically 6 companies, which means that they all, if you realize they mostly all say the same thing, you might get one with a different point of view, but I guarantee if you go to the best news media to me is you, me, Ron, Dr. Short, and other people that really report true facts and not the misinformation that they bombard you with every day. Because you know, they call us misinformation, but we're not misinformation. We just telling it like it is. But but people don't understand the truth because I guess they blind and they don't want to see it. I used to say, hey, I used to try to save people, but when they call you all these names, conspiracy theories or whatever, I like, look, man, I'm gonna tell you one time, you don't believe it. I just gotta go my way, man. Somebody listen to me, whatever. But I don't really engage too much with ignorance. I think Dick Gregory even said the best. My truth does not have to be blinded by your ignorance.
My truth doesn't have to be validated by your ignorance. No, yeah, he used to say that. Yeah, he would say, pray that the truth would come out.
And unfortunately, we have a lot of smart black people, but they're being betrayed by a group of elite black people. A guy said, I need a pair of those glasses. We all need to try them on. Thank you for all you do, brother. Well, thank you too, Eugene Richard. But well, what I'm saying though, that they don't believe it. But like you telling me, like your people watching at home, right? I'm like, you try to tell them about anything about these two people and how dirty they are.
This is Obama 2.0.
Well, what did Obama 1.0 do? Well, yeah, he did do a lot in a negative way. As a matter of fact, I think he was more. Actually, to tell you the truth, white America got more done to black people under the guise of a so-called black president.
Well, let me say. Well, go ahead, finish your statement, but I need to say something on that.
Yeah, they got more done to do their bidding under a so-called black president, which really, if you look at his ancestry, when in Chicago Tribune, when he was elected, they called him the first Jewish president. That's in Chicago Tribune. You can pull it up. But I think it was in 2008. But this guy was a Goldman Sachs, Wall Street puppet, and even Cornel West, Cornel West I got issues with Cornel, but Cornel West did say one thing: he is a war criminal and he should go to jail for war crimes. And Cornel West, that time he was right. Like I said, you're right, you're right, you're wrong. Obama should have went to jail for war crimes. Him and Bush, they should be locked up in the jail. The way they put people in Guantanamo Bay and all these other sites they were taking people off, they should have been the ones that getting waterboarded, gassed, or killed for what they were doing.
I remember even Libya.
Yeah,
I mean, they overthrew a legitimate president with Gaddafi, and Hillary Clinton's little scheming ass was up there bragging about it when she did that interview.
that's right.
And Biden and Obama were all a part of it.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Now, I think a couple of years ago, after he got out of office, Obama said that that was a mistake on his part. But I mean, it was too little, too late. And has Biden ever recanted what he did?
No,
No.
but as a matter of fact, like I told the guy, like you're talking about Biden, but Biden is he's also the architect of concentration camps in America because let's face it, the correctional facilities that a lot of people say, oh, he didn't cause the crime bill. He did cause the crime bill because you told the states if you don't open up these prisons, you can't get this money, $13 billion of funding. So what I'm saying, the police that we have, we always talk about racism, racism, racism. The police that you had 100,000 police officers get jobs that time. And as a matter of fact, as I always say, the crime bill was not about stopping no crime. That NAFTA had just happened. They shipped jobs out of the U.S. to other lands, China and other lands, and they needed to have a workforce for cheap labor. So how did you get the cheap labor? You got it through
Prison.
immigrants and you got it through prison. I used to work at a prison. The guys making license plates and all this other stuff for cheap. I mean, they used to make your DMV license plates and all that. So people really knew what they really was funding. Joe Biden is the architect of that crime bill. And like I said, I am not a fan of Donald Trump at all. But I will say that I always say right is right, wrong is wrong. And I mean, as far as the presidency of Donald Trump, he hasn't done anything to harm black people. I mean, he might have said some things that might get you in a fit, but I'd rather somebody, say those things because a lot of people always talk about, oh, he said, oh, African shit over countries. That's not exactly what he said. He said it, but he was actually talking about when you let people come and take your land over without, any repercussion and you don't build the infrastructure in your land, your country becomes a shithole. I mean, he made it plain. I mean, he was actually telling them that you let the Clinton Foundation, the Obamas, and all these people bomb your lands and blow you up and kill you, starve you, but then you didn't do anything. I mean, obviously, the people in Puerto Rico got mad, but the people in Puerto Rico endorsed him for president.
Well, yeah, he agreed and committed some money to them uh, recently. Some hundred, I believe, upwhere in the hundreds of millions of dollars, if I'm not mistaken. So the governor had actually endorsed him for president
That's right. So,
for his reelection. So yeah,
but I will say this: that let me see something here with Trump. Yeah, what is it? How did he? I said down. If you double your black vote from last time, right, and you double your Hispanic vote, but you got a lower voter turnout, and the black vote didn't go to Biden like that. That's why I said. And first of all, like I said, white people, I'm gonna be dead on with you. They are not stupid economically like we are. They're not going. That's how I know you can't win Pennsylvania because white people are not going to vote against fracking. That's their livelihood up there in those states. That's how I know they wouldn't do that.
yeah.
That's how I knew because when I saw the 700,000 vote lead, and that's why a lot of people saying Trump came out and declared victory. Well, he can declare victory because of some fact of, hey, guess what? I mean, you can't say that you won an election when you had to stop the count. That's why they stopped the count so they could dig up these ballots
I,
within
I
that.
remember. Yeah, I remember the count stopping. Um, I remember it stopping that night, and I mean everything was in red. practically, and he was on his way to the landslide. And when I woke up the next morning, Biden is leading in Michigan, Wisconsin. Pennsylvania was still red, but it was only with 64% reporting, and Georgia was in red. But then was it and North Carolina was not called, even though there was 94% of the vote left, and it was still in red. What's interesting, and somebody pointed this out, was that it was at 75,000 votes the last time, but it's been the same all week. There hasn't changed.
That's right.
So why hasn't it changed? Like, why hasn't it been called yet? What's the holdup?
Well, like I told you, Gavin, I live in Virginia. You live in New Orleans, but you know California. If California called the election for Virginia, you know something fishy right there. Some California called the election before you. You know something fishy. And notice all the places where they got the votes at, right? When Democrat run cities. It ain't a coincidence that this happened. Okay? I mean, just being honest, it's not a coincidence that it happened because we know that they even Biden actually even admitted on an interview, and you can go watch it, that they're involved in the most extensive voter fraud organization in history. He said this on an interview. A lot of people think that he was just talking. No, he actually said this. But that's why they use the COVID to justify the means of the mail-in vote, because, like you said, Trump actually won a land. Look, like you just said, he had what most of these places he had up 100,000 votes, up more, with 94% of the vote called in. Well, if we can do simple math, Gavin, you can't catch up. I mean, you can just, you don't catch up. But here's the more pressing thing for the audience. And I just want to tell them, because so they people will get it and let them know that it's simple math. If they voted for Joe Biden, them heavy numbers, right? Then the House would have flipped and the Senate would have flipped. It didn't happen. So nobody voted down ballot. All the votes were for Biden. They didn't vote down ballot. I mean, Gavin, I know when you voted down the ticket. You didn't just vote for the presidency.
Yeah,
So
you vote down the ticket. You're not just voting for the presidency. And like I said, all of those ballots, 180,000 of them being for Biden, that was strange. But I mean, if there is something, excuse me,
yeah,
if there is something that I didn't mean to do that in front of you, but there's going to be certain the shit is going to hit the fan, and it's definitely going to be something else on Monday, especially if the court has any say in it.
well, that's the point I'm making. So I'm letting people know that right now you better be careful. I would say get your guns ready, because the court overturned this thing. BLM and the Antifa agitators are gonna be out there causing trouble. They're already getting ready for it. The reason I know that didn't happen, because I know it's BS, because you ain't seen none of these right wing groups come up. So they obviously know that the media lying right there. Why didn't they come out and protest? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, they've been in Pennsylvania all the time protesting, but if it really was really what it was, they would have came out. So what's the brother name? I don't know if you ever watched Alex Jones before. You ever watch Alex Jones?
Alex Jones, I have, man, but that man's crazy.
Mm,
Come
he
on,
can he can be crazy, but
man, he's crazy.
sometimes he be
Not to
on.
leave his kids.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, a broken clock can get the right time every now and then, but the man has said some crazy shit. That's crazy,
Okay.
erratic behavior. He's talking about eating his children and stuff, eating people and stuff like that. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that he had what's the guy named Roger Stone on there, and,
Okay.
and Roger Stone was actually talking about that they was going to engage in some fraud and stuff. But he said at the end of the day you'll see Trump in office, and so I just wanted to say that you know it's kind of weird when you really look at it, but I don't. Tim McClure said, "I hear you, Gavin," but a lot of people just don't know what's up because they don't do deductive reasoning. But when I talk to you, I know then and the rest of the panel knows has some type of deductive reasoning because like I mean I don't understand. Like you told me today earlier, you had a friend that told you mail-in fraud doesn't happen. I'm like, it's too many examples of it. It happens all the time. I mean, it's like night and day thing. It's almost like walking down the damn street.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I understand you look a little tired, brother. You look like you've been out all day and doing stuff. So
that's all right, man. We could talk a little more. I'm just yeah, I've had a busy day since this morning, but I'm good to go. If you want to mention something else, this week ago.
so let me ask you a better question. What is the about that picture you sent me, or you sent it a forward message? What do you think about that?
It was
Hey,
a group message.
yeah,
Well, it was the one with Rosa Parks and Ruby Bridges. I mean, I just and Kamala Harris. I just think it's stupid. I think we got old Negroes that are set in their ways. See, here's my thing: more people are scared now because Trump is in office, but all the stuff that has happened in their lifetime. I mean, you think about it, the stuff they had to deal with, the Vietnam War, the desegregation of schools even back then, the riots, the assassinations of Dr. Martin Luther King and John F. Kennedy, Malcolm X and Bobby Kennedy, the shootings, school shootings on college campuses. You would think that would have been more scary than right now for people. Like all the stuff you dealt with, you're scared because somebody talks to you ugly or somebody walks a certain way you don't like. I mean, get over yourself. Like Van Jones was crying today on CNN about Joe Biden winning the presidency. Like it's all about character. He looked like, I hate to even insult Terrell Owens, but he looked like T.O. when he was crying over Tony Romo getting hurt.
Van Jones. Well, let me say something. I'm just being nice. I mean, I don't really like to talk about old folks, but first of all, most of them old folks ain't nothing but boule civil rights coons and fraternities and sororities. And I'm not talking about maybe your sister or something. Well, it could be, but I'm talking about them sororities at the top, the ones that's in them high positions like that, like at the top. They ain't nothing but boule coons, the town, the 10th, and they've been co-opted by white organizations, do whatever white daddy tell them. That's why, like Stacey Abrams, they talk about Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams is a Negro bed wench. I mean, a fat Negro bed wench at that. What's the other one? What's this other woman? Claudia Jordan.
Keisha Lance Bottoms and
Yeah, Keisha Lance Bottoms is a
Bottoms, and you have Claudia Jordan was the one that was dissing Ice Cube.
Keisha Lance Bottoms is a sellout coon. As a matter of fact,
That's the mayor of Atlanta.
yeah, I mean, she might not even be a sellout coon, but she she actually lets trannies go in the libraries and sit and talk to folks and stuff. I ain't got nothing to do with Keisha Lance Bottoms. Matter of fact,
Maxine Waters.
Maxine, you know something, man? I've been
Yeah.
saying, man, I've been talking about Maxine Water for a long time. Hey, look, man, you know me. Like I said, they keep on yelling John Lewis and Elijah Cummings. I said, look, hey, man, sometimes dead weights got to hit the fan, man. Hey, they dead weight. John Lewis, I
Man,
mean,
I, I look. He serves I guess, a purpose in history and so forth. But if all you're known for in Congress is helping your constituents by organizing these civil rights commemorative marches and things of that nature and history landmarks, yet your district is one of the poorest districts in the nation, then you really haven't been effective at your job. Maxine Waters is, and John, I was in Atlanta for the Foundational Black American Conference. And I'm going to go back to Maxine Waters in a second. But Atlanta, I was under that I-10. You got nothing but homeless people under there. Just like here in New Orleans, we have homeless people, even in panhandlers. And in California, where Maxine Waters is, from what people have told me, that 43rd district, congressional district, that's one of the poorest and decrepit neighborhoods. in the country. And she's been there for over 20 years. Well over 20 years. I don't understand why people keep voting for that over and over again. These Negroes are just obsessed. They're fine with moving along to get along.
Well, one thing about me, I don't I don't go along to
They
get along.
don't. They're scared of change.
I
That's
don't go
why they.
along. I don't go along to get along. I stand for truth, bro. So I don't go along to get along. Like I told people, look, you know, it's like this with Maxine. She ain't gotta die, but she just need to get out the way. Like I said, I mean, like, put it this way. I come to Gavin Rashad funeral if I had the chance, but I ain't coming to no daggone Maxine
Don't
Water.
kill me early. I'm still young.
Yeah, you all right. But I'm just saying I come to your funeral if I came to for I wouldn't go to Maxine Water funeral home. I say, hey God, you spared me of one more civil rights coon, because hey, it will be a civil war and some of these coons got to be taken out, especially these black feminists, these sellout black feminists for the most part. You know, they
Yeah.
gotta understand something. Your sex do not come before your race. I mean, most of them, you know, they want to, I guess they want to sleep with women or they want to be the power broker. But the problem is, they nothing but Willie Lynch associates, man. I mean, you know,
Right.
they work on teardowns. Like what's the cackling hen? These cackling hens.
There's a hunch. If you talk,
Pam Keith. That's it. That cackling hen.
okay, yeah, her.
Yeah. Like she talking about the black men who voted for Trump hate black women.
I
Like,
mean, she attacked Ice Cube. She went at Ice Cube too, because Cube was talking about trying to getting the president to commit $500 million to urban areas, and they didn't like that, saying, "Well, you should have known better to work with a white supremacist." These people work with racists. All of us work with racists every day. If we got a job at a 9 to 5, you work with racist people that are your supervisors. You just as part of the system as everybody else, man. Don't act like you're holier than now. Well, I would never work with them. Yes, you do. It's like Dick Gregory said, ain't nobody innocent in this system. If uh, you know, you paying your taxes to the government, you're responsible for the violence that's going on across over in other nations. He used to say that. So I don't want to hear this, well, he shouldn't have talked to Trump. He shouldn't have talked to Trump. What is he supposed to do? What if Trump did, let's say, for instance, if we're not going through all of this stuff and Trump got reelected, you gonna say for 8 years you shouldn't talk? Don't do nothing.
I mean, no, I mean that's the
That
attitude you have
does that
because
make that's the attitude, but that's the attitude that they're taking. They're
yeah.
mad because well, he shouldn't have done it during the election. Well, when was he supposed to do it?
Well, I mean
Supposed,
those are those are silly Negroes. Like I said, I don't even.
oh,
I
I wish Cuba would have talked. Biden, he talked, and for the record, he didn't endorse Trump. He said he talked to everybody. He tried to talk to the Dems. They said wait till after the election. And this stuff ain't over with, like we said again, if they're able to get the Supreme Court behind this. And let's say Trump wins as a result of the court removing the ballots and finding that there was voter fraud.
Well,
Yeah, what are y'all going to do then?
well, I mean, unfortunately, I can already tell you how it's go. The Negro bed wenches, they're gonna be like, oh, we got the election stolen from us. Oh, you know, they're gonna act like the Supreme Court. But the only way they can do that because we allow them to do it, and people don't know the rule of law, and they go lockstep with the media, not knowing all they got to do is go to the damn cell phone or go to the computer and say, "Oh, that's why they was able to do it." A lot of people are talking about why, man. They were supposed to impeach Trump. They couldn't impeach him. They had nothing to impeach him on. I mean, everything that they said he did, Joe Biden did, so they couldn't impeach him.
Right.
I mean, even with the Russiagate, they found out through these classified documents that Hillary Clinton was the one who paid the Russians. Donald Trump had nothing to do with that. You know, they were saying that Russians influenced the election. No. You know who influenced the election for real in the last election? The
Who's that?
same people, you, Brother Ron, and Dr. Short, other people that were posting out the information on Hillary Clinton. Ain't no damn Russian bots. You calling me a bot? I'm a man talking to you, man.
Right. And yeah, well, I mean, and the thing you hear, especially from old black media now, they are trying to, take credit for this Biden Harris election. Well, these voteps, that's what I call them, the Swollen Martins and the Jamel Hills and all of these other cats. I think, it's going to be interesting when if this thing backfires. I'm going to just sit there. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to say nothing but laugh, man, because it's funny with all the
Wait,
stuff
wait,
going
wait,
on.
wait, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Time out, Gavin. I think not only do I think it's gonna be reversed. Well, I pretty much 999% sure it's gonna be reversed because remember, who were they blaming when this thing when, before they stopped when they stopped counting the votes? Who were they blaming?
Blacks,
Black men.
black males, yeah.
Yeah. So they already been saying blame black men. I mean, like you got Jamel Hill, but Jamel Hill probably needs to, you know, go to the left or right or something. Um, um, or whatever. Um, she probably needs it. I mean, I don't know about Jamel Hill, man. Jamel Hill is soft. I mean, she's soft.
Mel Hill and all it. I mean, I don't really like giving her energy. It's like, well, I talked to her about a slave. So,
I mean, but you got a lot of slaves out there. You even got what's the damn little motherfucker name? I mean, I ain't call him a slave. He's just a puppet. I mean, he's like a puppet. He's just like a puppet nigga. LeBron James. He let them pump them around and stuff like that. The other one, like it was even insulting in Philadelphia. They said they gave the poll workers soul food, macaroni and cheese, and all this stuff. Football players. Actually, Malcolm Jenkins plays for the Saints. Come to think about it, you were down there in New
I
Orleans. Yeah,
know. Yeah,
yeah,
Jenkins with the safety. Yeah, he still plays for the Saints. He resigned this year. So, he still
yeah,
has ties with Philadelphia because after he left the Saints in 2012, I believe, he played uh, of 2013. He spent the last 4 or 5, well, last 6 years playing for Philadelphia, and he, won a Super Bowl with them as well, especially when he won one down here with us.
yeah. But what I'm saying, he talks a lot, but he ain't really, like I said, he might be alright in some aspects, but in other aspects, like I said, why they have to announce that they gave them? I didn't even ask what restaurant they bought the food from. You
Well,
know,
that's all for show and for charity. Everybody likes a feel good story, so that's what that was about. Oh, you did something nice for the community, giving poll workers food and macaroni and cheese and fried catfish and all of that stuff. So yeah,
yeah, well, yeah, it's kind of wild, man. I
that's
just,
nice. Yeah, that's nice that they fed them. Okay.
yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, nice they fed them, but a lot of people don't understand what's up with that picture. But like I always say, man, I mean, when you don't realize the game they playing, like Jim Clyburn tell you, hey man, let's get us a bucket of chicken and let's go feed the black people. Oh yeah, yeah, great.
Right.
I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, man, but you can't be like Jim Clyburn. Jim Clyburn is probably look for everything I do. I mean, for everything I do, hey, I mean, I said about John Lewis and them. John Lewis and them ain't do a damn thing. And they some daggone boule sellout coons. But Jim Clyburn is probably the worst of the worst. I probably daggone tie Jim Clyburn up, and say, look, I don't need no white person that gonna beat you and put no 20 lashes on your ass. I need to put some lashes on your goddamn ass, you daggone sellout. Shoot. Jim Clyburn really need to be knocked upside the head when he called Joe Biden an ordinary black man.
Yeah, and that's what's leading our congressional Black Caucus. So, man,
Our,
I've
our congressional traitor caucus.
yeah.
But I just want to put like I said, I've been on. I know you say you 45 minutes, went a little bit over. Go ahead and give out your contact information, brother.
Well, first off, brother, thank you for having me. You guys can check out Gboo2786, channel Gboo2786 on YouTube, as well as my self-entitled YouTube channel, Gavin Richard. And you can also subscribe to, it looks like you're on in there too, Bernard. Gavin Richard Presents on Anchor. Anchor is my podcast. It's my podcast channel. That's where you guys can tune in and listen and check out the episodes that drop. I'll probably have another one drop tomorrow about this election and where do we go from here, which I think is a very interesting subject right now. And thank you again, brother. It's always good to chat with you, and you take it easy.
You too, brother.
All right, I'm glad I was on here, man. We did it a whole hour, well, 56 minutes, about that much.
You too, brother.
You going to the range tomorrow?
That's a good question. Maybe, yeah, it might go back. Might need to get ready, huh?
Let me ask you something though, because this is important because you shoot guns as much as and I do too. Right now, what is a gun that everybody probably should be buying at this point? Because with the presidency supposedly of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, I think that they've talked about this openly, and you know this about taking guns, especially a buyback program and getting AR-15s off the street. What do you think of that? And what guns should people be buying?
Let's say something about AR-15 right quick. Let's say something about that. AR-15 means Armalite. So let's
Right.
get that. So I want people to just stop using the word AR-15 because it really means Armalite. Because everybody think, oh, they're so scary. And I mean, they're nothing scary about AR-15. But I mean, I would get a nice. Shoot, I tell you to go ahead and get an Armalite right now. Shit, you might well get them. You ain't buying nothing back from my ass. So daggone shit.
Yeah,
Maybe
but how do you implement a buyback program if it's going to be voluntary? Because it's not voluntary if you go through all the trouble of creating a law like that.
yeah.
See, like they don't spend money. When they draw these laws up, you got lawyers and attorneys that are on those committees that work under them that are drawing all of this stuff up day and night. So they're not doing that for you to just be a volunteer and do that. Volunteer, give up your gun. If you want to do that, you go to your sheriff's station and do that. They have those programs that they run
Well,
every now.
I'm gonna say something to you, Gavin, about the buyback program. Let me ask you a question. Do you really think that white people be crazy enough to get their guns up? Hell no. You got more guns than people in the United States, man. So hell no, they ain't giving their guns. If I know one white guy I know had 24 damn guns, man, he by himself.
Right.
So I mean, really to tell you the truth, like I said, you can't do that. You can't really um, you know, do that with the gun laws. So I mean, they can do it, but you don't have to sell it back to them a buyback program. I mean, they're just trying to go to what do you call it, mass sound like a mass government control when you talk about a buyback program.
Well, just remember every nation where they had a dictator, everybody was forced to turn in their guns. The Philippines, when Ferdinand Marcos came in, he ordered them to return all of their guns in. He declared martial law when he became dictator of the Philippines, and he gave them 24 hours to do so under penalty of death. Uh, when Hitler came into power, he did the same thing in Austria. They had to turn in their weapons, and that was because they knew that people would resist if they fought back with firearms. So whatever you do, don't turn in your firearms. Go buy one now if you can. If you got some money saved up, buy all the ammunition you can in bulk because shit is about to hit the fan. if Biden becomes president. That's my biggest fear with it. Thank God we have a Republican Senate, but that could fight that, and a Supreme Court that could fight it. But I know that they're trying to do that. Obama tried to do it, but he failed because he couldn't get the Congress to do it.
Well, you know something? But see, we got one more thing to worry about. And Biden will sit up there and tell you he said it one time that people need a new world order. I mean, new world order is gun buybacks,
The one world government.
one world government, and mass surveillance. I mean, and actually tell you the truth. You had one of the Rothschilds say Donald Trump is the greatest threat to the new world order. He said this you can read this you pull up on your phone. But mass government and surveillance. And you got surveillance with all these drone programs. Even if you go look around your city, man, you might see all these cameras they putting up. You go to Walmart parking lot, you see all these blue lights on the thing. They got a lot of surveillance now. It's just so hard to get away and stuff. That's why I always tell people. Like I said, I don't really, like Trump, but I said, hey, look, at least his presidency has been getting a whole lot of human trafficking rings from people stealing children and stuff. I'm like, damn, man, shit. We just had another sting down here in Virginia, maybe last month or this month, when people found out that people were stealing the kids and stuff. So you got to know what's going on when this mass surveillance program. The brother says in the chat, don't ever give up your gun, folks. So don't worry, brother. Don't you worry about that, brother. Don't you give up yours neither. Gavin, you plan on giving yours up?
Nope.
There you go. I mean, hey. So I don't, But let me say one more thing that you asked about. I want to bring that to you about the gun thing. You don't need a buyback when you go back and sell your gun to the manufacturer if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I need you to buy me a gun back?
Yeah. Well, it's about control, government control.
Well, let me say one more thing. So I guess I would say a 45, 40, maybe a woman, maybe a 9. Um,
Woman
Taurus.
can buy a 38.
Yeah, Taurus. I know some people get a Desert Eagle, but
The Glocks are always good.
yeah. But however, and let me say this before I go. So this week I went to the range. I went to one range. They said it was $69. I'm like, damn. They said, oh, the ammos went up. I was like, damn.
Ammo went up because there's a shortage now, and that's another thing too. There's an ammo shortage across the country that is expected to last till the summer of 2021. So you couple that with the fact that we're going to likely get a Democratic president in office, and you have him talking about a buyback program or taking away AR-15s and AR-15s and guns with weapons with 30 rounds, magazines that even includes handgun, then you're going to have a problem.
Well, the worst part about it is that a lot of people don't know it though. Like you just said with that, like I went in there, so I came to the other range that's close to me, and I know what they're gonna do. So they did what they call um this one was cheaper, it was like $40, but you just bring your gun, but you had to use their bullets, but the bullets were like $26. And then I thought about, should I bring my other gun in here to shoot? I said, no, man, I ain't even trying to pay $26. Nah, I'll just shoot one gun a day and come back the next day and shoot the other one because that ammo prices is just ridiculous. I can't even find it. You can't even buy another damn magazine, man. I'm stuck on one mag, man. So things are really short right now when it comes to that drives the price. Of course, supply and demand will drive the price of the gun manufacturers. So hey man, even getting online is tough. So when I look at it, hey man, get ready, strap up, and keep it to the vest, man, because I always say it, brother. Civil war is on the rise, and especially that's why I said I don't think that daggone Trump can go away quietly when he can invoke the 12th Amendment in the nuclear option and just declare that he's the president. And there's a damn thing they can do about it because they tried to steal the election. So he used that 12th Amendment nuclear option. It don't even matter. I mean, a lot of people don't know. Like you said at the beginning of the program, he has all the trump cards. Supreme Court justice, um, basically a Republican Senate. So when you got all the trump cards, hey man, you can do what you want. So I just want people to know that. So he got all the trump cards in his hand, and we got the trump cards in our hand. If we don't let them buy it back this time, well, we ain't got that's not the trump card, but you know what I mean. We got something. Don't let these fools come tell you about buying back no gun now. You know, you come and buy mine back, I'm gonna say, look, man, get off my doorstep, man. I don't do that. You know, but the problem is they like you just said, they're trying to make a law, so they're gonna try to make it mandatory. That's what you really need to be looking at.
Ron, I don't know what you mean by the Trump card that he has with the 12th Amendment. The 12th Amendment is with the respect to the Electoral College.
Oh, that might be, yeah, it might be right. But yeah, well, it's called nuclear option. You can go look it up. But maybe not 12th, it might be nuclear option. It was one of the things I was reading earlier, but that's okay. But real just talk. That guy said Dems cannot govern. It's gonna be a mess. Other guy says only way go to forward and B1. Yes, peace. Tim McClure, B1. I actually do. His brother Tim. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna when I get off, can I tell him to give you a message on Messenger?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, he's the guy Jay Harris. You've been on his show before. That's his he's connected to him, so I'm pretty sure that he'd love to talk to you, man. And off the air, we'll probably talk one day, and talk about some things. And hey, man, life leads you weird places, so life might lead you to New Orleans. So we'll talk about it, sir.
All right, something to talk about.
Yeah, you
Okay,
take it.
you have a. I don't have any more to say. Just thank you again for having me on the channel, brother. I appreciate it.
You too, sir.
All right, good night, guys.
You too, brother.
We won.
All right. Goodbye.